Good evening, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Also want to give acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Also want to give acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Pray that the Most High blesses this lesson tonight, gives us some more clarification to some of the prophecies that are coming on this earth. And one thing I wanted to talk about was it was put on me a couple days ago. I've been kind of preparing for another video, but then a couple days ago, Most High kind of put it on me to look at a couple things from Albert Pike. And if you don't know who Albert Pike is, I would suggest maybe doing a little bit of research, because this person here was seriously dealing with demons. And the demons allowed him to see a glimpse of the future. And he predicted the first 3 world wars. And this is actually a pretty good video. I'll leave the link in the description. Kind of a really short one, but it kind of gives you a little taste of the information. I think he wrote a letter in 1871 breaking down the 3 world wars. And I was kind of looking at some of this right now, and something stuck out to me about the 3rd World War and what it was going to do at the end, and how when you know the truth about who we are, where our land is, and about all the other books and the information that's been hidden, then when you start to hear things about what they were saying, what Albert Pike was told by these demons, it all starts to make sense. Now, as I said, that the Most High is going to pretty much expel all of the people who are not supposed to be in our lands, and everyone's going to go back to their lands. And then once they go back to their lands, they're going to be fighting one another. Now, when you listen to Albert Pike and his breakdown of World War III, you're going to see how that corresponds almost exactly the way that these prophets are supposed to be playing out. And how, many of the people are going to be just surprised because, the truth is so far from the vast majority of the world's minds. They're still stuck with everything revolving around the so-called Middle East and the so-called Arabs over there and the so-called Jewish people over there. Everything is revolving around them, and people are not really, taking account as to what is transpiring right here under their noses. So we're just going to listen to a little bit of this video clip, and I'm going to stop it as we go through it, kind of show you the breakdown of this 3rd World War's prophecy from Albert Pike through the eyes of the Hebrews, with the help of the Holy Spirit guiding us and giving us real clarification as to what's going to be transpiring during this time of World War III. As we can see, we're at the precipice of huge things, with Iran actually confiscating ships from Britain right now. And the United States saying they shot down a drone, and then the Iranians, showing that they didn't shoot it down. There's all this information now that these other nations are now standing up, and they're not afraid anymore, which is all part of Bible prophecy as well as other prophecies from other books as well. Let's continue. Let's take a look here at this video.
Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine. During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would be then restrained and held in check until the time when we would need it for the final social cataclysm. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agentur of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionism, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other.
Okay, so they set up Israel with the Second World War. They set up Christianity in the Second World War, so to make sure that they're ready to use those two entities for the Third World War. So all of this has all been planned. So you have your Islamic faction, you have your Islamic side right here. You got your Christendom, and you got your Zionism on the other side, and they're going to be made to fight each other to utter exhaustion. Now remember, now when we talked about how when the Most High is going to make everyone go back to their lands, if you go to 2nd Ezra chapter 15, it talks about how he's going to make them fight one another. Let me see. I don't even have this book right here. No, I don't even have it. But they're going to be fighting. Everyone's going to be turning against each other and fighting with one another. That's all talked about in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, which is exactly what's going to be going on right here. Everyone's going to have to pick a side, and they're going to be fighting with each other and destroying each other. So they just destroy one another. Remember, and we're going to be in our own lands, and the Most High is going to be protecting us there. He's going to be renewing the lands there. He's going to be, protecting us with the angels there, and they're going to be just destroying each other. And as you can tell by looking at the news, that's exactly what we're on the doorstep of. Everyone picking sides. Everyone's got their they got the enemies that they're set up, and they got their comrades they're going to get together and work with. So that's what's going on right now. Everyone's picking their sides. Everyone's setting up their teams, getting their allies together, because this is going to pop off. But this is all based off of us awakening to who we are and to where our inheritance is. Many people, and still in the Hebrew community, are still stuck on Africa and the Middle East, and they're sleeping on the fact that we're already in our own lands. But many people are now awakening to the truth, because they're starting to see that now as we bring out this information, me and myself and the other brethren, there's many brethren that are bringing out a lot of information. And one brother I forgot to actually mention on the last video was UB News. That brother brings out a lot of great information as well. But as our brethren are now come together, working together, bringing out this knowledge and information, bringing out this information through the power of the Holy Spirit. So now things are going to start to fall into play. Now things are going to start to make much more sense. Even when you're listening to, Albert Pike and, and the things as prophecies of what he thought was going to happen and what he was shown was going to happen. But we need to know what's the underlying current. Why are these things happening? Let's continue with this video a little more.
Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. We shall
see, again, all the other nations are made to choose sides, pick allies, and destroy each other. In the Bible, the Most High did that with the other nations quite often, where we would be going into battle and he would make them kill each other. He would make them fight with each other. And that's exactly what he's going to be doing on a grand scale right now. Because this is all, like you said, this is all just everything's just playing itself out the way the Most High said it was going to play out. Let's continue.
Unleash the nihilists and the atheists, and we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery and of the most bloody turmoil. Then, everywhere, the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization and the multitude, disillusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction, anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to.
Now that's really important right there. A lot of people are going to lose faith in Christianity. Why would they lose faith in Christianity? As you can tell, people are already losing faith in Christianity, because once they start to really analyze, the tenets of Christianity, of Constantine Christianity, and you start to get questioned on certain things, and they have no answers. Many people are starting to realize that the foundation of their religion is based on a pile of sand. that is quickly being destroyed, especially now as we rise and the real true people of the book rise, and we, claim our books and our understanding back. They realize that, their people can't hold a candle to us as far as knowledge and understanding, because the books were never given to them in the first place. Let's continue here real quick. We're almost done.
To render its adoration will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement, which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. A bizarre.
Now, this is huge. This is where, that the truth coming out as far as who we are, our lands are, our inheritance is huge. When he just said right there shows you how this happens. What can destroy Christianity and atheism at the same time? Let that sink in for a second, that question. What can happen that could destroy Christianity and atheism at the same time? I'll tell you exactly what can destroy both at the same time. The Most High waking up his people, empowering his people. The whole world realizing that those Israelis over there were not God's chosen people, but the people that we've had under our thumb, that we've had our boots on their necks this entire time, the people that we've had at the bottom this whole time were God's chosen people. That will destroy Christianity in an instant, because Christianity is already based off of a deck of cards, and a good strong wind blowing those cards all over the place will destroy that. The whole basis of Christianity being set up over a fake people, and they've been blessing the wrong people this entire time. That would absolutely destroy Christianity in an instant. What would destroy atheism in an instant? When they see the Father crack them clouds open, crack the skies open, and they see what he really looks like, and they realize who his people really are, and they're seeing our people being gathered from the four corners back into their lands. Every knee will bow. Every knee will understand. Every person at that time will understand that there is a God or a power, and he's the power of the true Hebrews. That would then make it without a doubt that there is a power up in the heavens. So us being restored, the Most High sending his angels out and collecting our people from the four corners, bringing them back into our land, will destroy Christianity and atheism at the same time. And then once that happens, then the Most High has the other nations fighting and destroying themselves until he decides to send his son back. And the other nations are then summoned when the Most High puts that hook in their jaw and tells them to come back over here again to the Holy Lands and try to do what they did the first time. He's going to put that in their minds to do that again. When they realize that they're going to be back in these desolate lands and don't have any resources, and they're going to see us, living happily in our lands, and they're going to be, coaxed to come back over again. When they come back the second time, though, they're going to have to deal with our power, because at that time, he's going to fight for us. He's known to his people and to the rest of the world. So Albert Pike was shown many things, but without the understanding of who we are and where we come from, the interpretation of his letters can go all over the place, because they're missing the biggest point. The biggest point is his people have been hidden, and without the understanding of who the Most High's people really are, all prophecy is going to be off. As if you're still stuck on, I see this even a lot within the Hebrew community. They're still talking about, this is the beginning of Jacob's trouble. Man, we've been going through Jacob's trouble for thousands of years. When I'm reading the accounts out of that, the Dogs of the Conquest book, and showing you the things that they were doing to our people. You start looking at the accounts of what happened to us in slavery and gator bait and everything else, selling off of our kids and all the things, all the curses that we've already gone through. So what you're saying is that we have to go through this again for another 7 years? I mean, what more could the nations do that they haven't already done to us for the last 400 to 500 years? You see, that's like Christianity. Pretty much all the things that Christianity has told us, then when people give into the truth and they try to force, the Hebrew Israelite community to follow what we were told in Christianity. People still talking about, going through 7-year tribulation period, about still taking a mark of the beast. We've been marked before we got here. We were marked either to be for the Most High or against him before we even were conceived in the womb. That's already been decided. Saying we're going to go through another tribulation period. I said we've been going through tribulation. We're going through tribulation every day already. We're now at the time where we're waiting for our Father to make things plain, to show himself to the other nations, to show himself to 2/3 of our people who refuse to believe the truth, who still fight with us, at every turn. We're waiting for the Most High to restore our spiritual power that we had once before. We're waiting for him to make us the nation that he intended us to be in the first place. I'm not trying to make the Hebrew Israelites fit into, or our awakening fit into Christianity and the way that they've tried to break things down. Everything revolves around us and our awakening and the depth that our awakening goes to. Some people are just happy with knowing that, hey, we're Hebrews. But there's much more to us than just that. Our inheritance is also a big part of this awakening as well. But I wanted to kind of just go over this really quick with the whole Albert Pike and the way he was breaking down World War III. And he's going to talking about how the other nations are going to be fighting to exhaustion. Yes, that's talked about in 2 Esdras 15. Talking about how Christianity and atheism are going to be destroyed. They're both going to be destroyed at the same time. Yes, once we are restored and they see who the real people are and they see our power fighting for us, they're going to know that there is a God, or there is a power who controls everything. And they're going to realize that, that we are the real true children of the Most High and that they've been lied to in all their Christian churches. You imagine that day? You imagine the utter chaos that's going to cause for the vast majority of the people in the world when they realize that everything that they've been taught has been an absolute lie? That day is upon us, brethren. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledge to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledge to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.